All right, everybody, welcome to another Thursday night video. The plan for tonight is we are going to go through the full download and installation of Popos 22.04. This is a long-term support version. We are going to poke around with it a little bit and just get a little bit of a feel for it. Now, I am doing this on an older machine. It's going to probably be mid to late May before I have the i9 Proxmox server up and running. We'll see how quickly I can get the parts ordered for that. But there will be some videos covering the building of that system. So, let me bring up my screen and we will get started here. All right, so we've got Proxmox up. I'm going to put myself down here in the corner. We should have Proxmox up. Let's try this again. All right. So, we're going to get Popos downloaded. So we'll go to system76.com, pop.system76.com. I'll dump this in the chat just for reference purposes. And from here, we can go to download. And you've got a couple different options. So 22.04 LTS without anything after it. This is for Intel and AMD graphics. There's a separate ISO download for NVIDIA graphics. And then there is also the 2110 Raspberry Pi 4 version. I'm assuming they're going to get that updated to 2204 shortly. But that is labeled as 2110 currently. So we're going to right click on here and we are going to copy the link and then come back to our Proxmox. Under ISOs and templates is the way I've got it. Oh, not that one. Under local, we'll go to ISO images, download from URL, paste in the URL, query, and download. And now we'll wait a few minutes. There we go. We got a start to that. All right, so it looks like it'll be about 4.5 minutes for that to finish. So while we're waiting for that, we can take a look here. Workflow customization, auto tiling with Pop Shell, keyboard navigation, stacking workspaces, and it has a bunch of nifty things that they've got it ready to do. So, and of course, they're going to pimp their computers a little bit. They do have an automatic firmware update for their systems. In all honesty, when I get ready to buy another laptop, I'm not convinced I'm going to get another MacBook Pro because for approximately half the price of a MacBook Pro, I want a 14-inch laptop. If I go with this Lemur Pro, which is kind of splitting their product line, it starts at 1149, and I'd be looking at paying about double that for a MacBook Pro for a 16-inch. Um, I mean, even for a 14-inch, well spec'd. Now, I mean, they do have an AMD option that is $50 more, which I would be actually inclined to go for, um, because you get up to this higher end model, and I'm not sure I really need the NVIDIA RTX graphics. I'm not a gamer really, so um, I think this pangolin would be the sweet spot for me. Um, up to 64 gigs of memory, up to 2 terabytes of NVMe. Uh, pretty cool. And it's 5700U CPU. Yeah, I'm very interested. Okay, we're 70% on the download. So, what do you all think about this? I mean, there's also, was it Tuxedo Computers? They're out of Spain, I believe. They do ship worldwide, and I can't get to their website apparently. Um, Tuxedo. I don't know why I can't get to their website. Interesting. Well, go figure. But the thing I like about the System 76 is they're based on Clevo reference designs, and at least on some of these, you've got the option of having core boot instead of your proprietary UEFI system. So, I mean, of course, you want to go dual channel with AMD processor. Um, the boot drive can be the 240 gig. Um, I mean, I might go to a 500 gig for that, but yeah. So, I mean, even just doing that, that's 1318, and for a MacBook Pro, that starts at $2,000 versus 1318. We will see what so if we go with a 14-inch, there are things that you get with the MacBook Pro that you wouldn't get on the System 76 model. But I mean, the for a 16 gigs and 1 terabyte storage. So let's make this a little more comparable. 1 terabyte of storage. And we do in fact have 16 gigs selected. So we're running about $1,500 before tax, versus $2,500. So that's $1,000 difference, basically. Um, yeah, I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to pull the trigger on this at some point. Um, I had a good run. I've had a couple of MacBook Pros that have served me very, very well. But I'm certainly more willing to try this than I am another Dell laptop. I won't buy another Dell laptop new. I had very bad experience. All right, so enough of that. We have downloaded the ISO. Let's go ahead and create ourselves a new VM. Popos 2204. And we're gonna do, let's give it a 40 gig. Virtual disk. Give it 4 cores and 6 gigs of RAM. We'll go ahead and start it after creation. All right, let's pop this out. I'll take myself off screen for the moment. So, not quite as good a turnout as I was expecting tonight. Looks like nobody's currently watching, which is okay. That's not going to stop me from doing this video. Or checking out Popos. All right. Install Popos is not responding. There it goes. All right. English. United States. English US for keyboard. Default layout. We're doing a clean install on the QEMU hard disk. And I'm not going to, let's see, encryption password is the same as user account password. We're not going to encrypt for this VM. Now, if you're actually running this on a laptop, absolutely encrypt it. I pity the fool, as Mr. T would say, I pity the fool that doesn't encrypt their laptop hard drive. You're setting yourself up for some pain. Let's see if we can set this. Keep changes. That looks a little better. All right. We'll let this do its thing and copy. So, yeah. While that's waiting, I'm going to take that off screen and put myself back on. So I've got some ideas for some upcoming videos that I've not covered these topics before. But I was thinking about some of this stuff, and um, you know, to help explain networking and you know, Wireshark and different things like that, I thought about, you know, let's set up an FTP server. So I'll likely do this on a fresh install of Ubuntu 22.04 or possibly Debian 11. And there are a few ways we can go about this. So VSFTP is one of the probably easier ways to do this. And this allows you to have a traditional FTP server, the traditional as in the classic insecure. Everything is passed in plain text FTP server. And you know, why would I set this up in 2022? Well, the answer to that is simple. It would be a teaching tool to show people, you know, exactly how things are being passed in plain text. And then we can take that and start locking it down. And the cool thing is that we can test this along the way, capturing packets and you know, the handshake between the client and the server, allowing us to see exactly, you know, the difference. So we'll take a baseline when we do the base install. You know, you can log in, it passes your FTP username and password in plain text. And then once we get it configured, we'll do that again and show that it is no longer being passed as plain text. So there is another route to getting a secure FTP or SFTP, just via configuring OpenSSH server, which is available on Linux, Mac OS, and now even Windows has got on the bandwagon finally within the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years. You don't actually have to use PuTTY on Windows anymore. So, you know, so that might be something worth checking out there too. Now, a third way that this can be done is running Filezilla Server, which you might be familiar with. The Filezilla client. I happen to have Filezilla Pro installed here, which gives you some additional capabilities. A lot of people don't know about this, but you can actually, in the Pro version, transfer to and from Amazon S3 or an S3 compatible storage system. Storj, WebDAV, Microsoft Azure file storage, Microsoft Azure Blob storage, OpenStack Swift, Google Cloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, Backblaze B2, Box, and rack space cloud storage. So I'm going to demonstrate a few of these in a future video. But let's jump back to our install here. And it's still chugging along, which is fine. But yeah, when I did an initial look-see, I did not find a lot of current setup videos for secure FTP, which can still be beneficial to have. I'd never just run a base install FTP without security for any length of time and for any purpose other than something on my network that was kind of a means to an end, quick and dirty setup for a specific purpose. So definitely not something I would have attached to the internet in any way. So there are a few videos out here. Looks like most of them are at least a year old. Some of them are 5 or more years old. So I might as well throw my head in the ring and get one of those out on my channel as well. And, you know, maybe we can get something interesting happening there. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens here. I kind of wanted to make sure that I was actually broadcasting and online because doesn't seem like... Oh, hi Catherine, welcome. Welcome. I was starting to wonder if anybody was showing up tonight. We're installing Popos, and yeah, so hopefully this will do its thing and we can reboot it and explore a little bit. I hope you're doing well this evening, and let's see. I see the time is wrong on this. Not that it'll make a lot of difference right now since we're just doing an install, but might as well fix it. All right. So, yeah, I'm not in the UK. Let's try. That looks better. All right, that looks like proper time according to my watch. So, extracting file 68%, so we're moving along. Went with Mia to the vet for ear cleaning and claw trimming. Oh. Well, hopefully Mia wasn't too mad after that trip to the vet. I think for my niece's cats, I think my sister clips their claws at home. But I think they've got, 5 cats running around that house right now. She was not impressed. Kind of wondered about that. So, yeah. Oh, but she got snacks afterwards. That's good. That's good. So, I wonder. Um, let's see. Got some pictures from a client earlier today, and I kind of want to see if people want to comment on these a little bit. I think they're mostly those 2 pictures. So if I can get logged into my Nextcloud here. Hopefully I can bring these pictures up. But this is, once I get these up, it's a Wi-Fi installation, an outdoor Wi-Fi installation at a campground. I need to find Nextcloud on my phone so I can upload the pictures and then actually be able to show them. But I took over this craziness last year, and there are four electrical poles that have Wi-Fi access points on them. They've got separate fiber internet running to each of these poles. And then they've got the access points hooked up. So not finding those pictures. I've got the motherboard and the memory and the processor. They're actually in the other room. I could actually go get those here in a minute. I'm going to get a power supply ordered this weekend and a water cooler, an all-in-one water cooler. But before I can order that stuff, I need to see if this case I've got actually another system in it right now that I need to tear down. But I've got to see if everything's going to fit in there, especially the water cooler. So once I do that, then I'm probably going to pull the trigger and order the parts I need. So let's see, what CERN particle accelerator is that? That's a good question. I don't know. That's one of the sample pictures that came with Nextcloud. So I don't know if I come into pictures. If that's got oh well, hey, here we go. So I've got the I guess this is getting off on a tangent. There's the two 2080 cards. Um, and then the motherboard, it's an Asus Tough. I'm trying to track down the version, the revision number on that, but um, this all came out of a working system. So I've just got to really get the um, water cooler and the power supply, and I'm really ready to put it together. So as far as um, the other picture that was showing, that's just a stock photo. Um, so the case, it's an NZXT case that I've had for years. I'm not even sure I could put the model number together on that. Um, but the case I wanted to use originally does not have mounts for a water cooler because it's an old school case. And I kind of decided that was not the best approach for what I want to do with this machine. As much as I like to build a sleeper in that case at some point, yeah. So let's see. I don't know if we can. I'm not sure where that picture is even set at. um, but I think I set this up. Oh, let's see, customize. Uh, yeah, it's a Creative Commons picture called Roulette. That's all I can tell you about it. That's all I can tell you about it. That's all the information it gives me. So I was hoping that though that I could get these pictures downloaded and maybe show them off, but I need to make sure that they're on my phone first. Now, these were just coming in this afternoon, so this is one of those kind of last minute ideas to help kill some time. Um, all right, let's see files. Um, doesn't appear that they're downloading. um, can we just stick them onto Nextcloud directly? Nextcloud, Cranberry, upload. See how that does. And then this is a separate picture here. So Yeah, this looks like the same picture. I got multiple copies of these sent to me this afternoon. That's why this is kind of odd. Um, so, but yeah, this has an what is it? The ingenious access point. I don't know if I can make that any bigger. It's got an ingenious access point. It's got a power over Ethernet injector somewhere on here. It's got the box from the internet company, the ONT that does the fiber to Ethernet transition. Um, the thing that gets me though, and I didn't upload that picture apparently. The thing that gets me though is I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to send it to Nextcloud. The second picture, we'll see if this uploads the way I want it to. Um, the extra cable at the bottom of this other pole. Um, it looks like they used indoor cable for this setup, which makes me nervous. Um, Makes me very nervous. And they've got the Ethernet connector on the end of the cable just hanging out here in the elements, which you can see how that's already yellowed. So I think at the very minimum, I'm going to want to snip that off and put a new end on, and then get get some sort of a protection system for that if it's going to be left out here like this. But yeah, weird stuff happening. Okay, so we're getting closer. Let's see. No, so this is at a campground, and for the people that bring their recreational vehicles in for the summer, and so that people have internet access. Although that kind of defeats the purpose of camping, in my opinion, but um, there are people that live out there at the campground all summer, semi-retired persons, I suppose, and yeah. So, but I got a frantic call from the owner of the campground yesterday, and none of the Wi-Fi uh, poles were operational, and so I had her power cycle them, and three of the four came up. So I've just got one problem pole that I've got to try to figure out, and so I'm likely going to have to make a trip down to this campground tomorrow, which is about 90 minutes from where I'm at, and do some additional troubleshooting and see what I can figure out, and what equipment might need to be reordered for replacements. So but I need to figure out what part of it is not working and, go from there. So, looks like a Colombian setup. Why not use a metal pole and put the cables inside? Well, I mean, if ideally I would like to do something very different. Last year was when I started looking at this stuff, and I sort of took over from the previous IT guy. And yeah, with the shortage of parts availability last year, we were not in a position to replace anything. Things are looking better right now. So I just need to figure out what is going to work best out there, and I definitely want to use outdoor rated cable because the stuff that's when I zoomed in on this earlier, you can't tell real well. I was able to zoom in more on my phone. But this looks like indoor rated cable. So um, it makes me kind of nervous having this out there at all. So I'm going to have to spend some time down there. And it might be a long weekend at some point here, and just figuring out what exactly we need to get ordered and going forward one pull at a time. So, welcome Terminal for Life. Yep, that was the first thing I wanted her to do before I made a trip down there that was going to be 90 minutes of driving one way. um, um, so maybe you want an ASRock server motherboard to access it remotely. That's a thought for sure. Um, so yeah, some techno camping. All right. So we've got 70% on configuring the system. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer. I've kind of bounced around tonight. I had intended earlier this afternoon, when I was dealing with the campground owner, I had intended to be working on stuff for tonight's broadcast, but things just didn't happen today the way I anticipated. So this is running a little bit behind schedule, I suppose you could say. But did end up looking at what's probably going to be my future laptop. It's getting closer to time to retire my 2014 MacBook Pro, and I'm really kind of looking at going with System 76. And supporting a company that supports Linux. Um, um, well, let me go grab the case. I think I've got it close enough that I can grab it and bring it over here. So give me just a moment, and I will put. Oh, we're rebooting. Let's take the. Okay. See what we're doing here. And then I'll go grab that case. Hopefully it didn't boot from the optical again. I'll be right back. Okay. Aha, it actually does have a model number on the back of it. So let's see what we can actually find on this. NZ ZXT 8E GALUGB. So this is the case I've got. Whoops, that's not it. This one is the case I've got. I've had this for years. Shop Korea, huh? Well, here. We'll put that in chat. I've had this for several years. Let me bring this up here. Okay, so that's the front of the case. No, it doesn't have USB 3 or anything like that, but it has enough mounts. There, I guess that's the top of it. That I could put that motherboard in it until I can buy a more expensive case that has more modern amenities. But right now that machine isn't doing me much good because it's got the an older build that I had a couple of uses for, but I found out when I started retesting it that the motherboard that's in there, and this is an old AM3 Plus board, it's got a bad RAM socket. I test one stick of RAM in the first socket and it tests fine. I swap and put the other RAM stick in that same socket, it tests fine. I put both sticks of RAM in and it throws memory errors. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's even... This is it. The Gamma Classic series, that's the case I've got. This guy right here. And I've had this for a bunch of years. But excuse me. it's not going to win any awards as a case, but it's usable for what I want it for. Um, and I've had a couple suggestions for cases. I'm not big on a bunch of LED stuff. I don't need a tempered glass case. I just want something that's functional, maybe a little bit of RGB um, stuff to, something subtle is what I'm after. Because it's going to more or less be a server for my purposes. Okay, so let's jump this out again. Every new release that comes along keeps telling me that my poor old dual Xeon server is just getting more and more long in the tooth. And that's why I'm going to be buying parts for this i9 system, because it's way more recent. So this is chugging along. This is chugging along. But I'm definitely looking forward to Be Quiet Case 600 series. We'll take a look at that here momentarily. Dock doesn't extend to the edges. I don't like that. That looks nicer. Next. Show workspaces button, show applications button, date and time and center. It's fine. Okay. Super key configuration can be changed. Gestures, dark theme, privacy. Set me back in Michigan. Thank you. Okay. That looks better. All right, so first thing I want to do is bump it to at least 1440 by 900. Wow, that's really chugging along tonight. All right, well, that tells me I need to get on board with getting this system. Get this system moving. All right, so let me, before I do anything else, let me come over here and do that. All right, that should make it a little happier. Okay. Are we going to open display settings this time? Maybe. Okay, finally that loaded up. So we want to come down here, 1440 by 900. It's a little nicer. If it updates, There we go. Okay, so that's a little better. Yes, I think that's the correct motherboard. There are going to be, it'll probably be two hard drives and one SSD to start off with. Um, I believe that's got two M.2 spots on the motherboard. I don't have it in front of me right now, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to configure this. I'll probably do a quick and dirty um, build as far as storage goes to start off with, just to get it up and running and usable. Um, Already running but not responding. Okay, so let's switch out of this for a moment. And we'll jump back here. Come on. Let's see. B Client 600 series. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. And it's got two 5¼ inch slots on the front. Not bad. Not bad. Oh yeah. And room for three more there. So, yeah, that's definitely a contender. Definitely a contender. Um, oh, now Firefox starts in the VM. All right. Well, obviously, I'm pushing this old server a little too hard. But, yeah, Popos overall has some nice uh, additions. And it is using a newer kernel than Ubuntu 2204. So this is using the 5.16.19 kernel. Make that a little bit larger. NeoFetch is not installed. HTOP is not installed. So we'll get those installed because those are kind of important for what I do. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. Pop OS is Pop OS. It's a solid. Oops, little overzealous with hitting the escape key. So there is a keyboard combination, and I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, to show this little launcher thingy. And you can launch whatever. So kind of a power user feature that reminiscent of Spotlight on Mac OS, which I make quite a lot of use of. Oops, if I could type neofetch, so we get the Pop OS information here. GNOME 42 and 1,765 packages. And then, of course, HTOP. So it's not, honestly, right now, this is with Firefox running and the terminal. It's not really hitting the hardware hard. I think the biggest issue with this old system is just that it's got crappy server graphics that do not lend themselves well for something like this. So, anyways, let's see. 2 NVMe slot, 3rd gen. Yep, that's all right. Excuse me. Tried to install Linux FX 1109. Is a problem. Yeah, I did a video a while back on that, and it was, I think for people who are used to Windows 10 and 11, it makes a little more gentle transition to Linux. Um, um, but you know, it's one of those things. It's kind of a novelty. Um, a lot of people like me are wanting to get away from Windows. But I can see, you know, and it is built on top of Ubuntu, and I can see where it would be a good transition Linux install, to get people from Windows 10, for instance, on a machine that's too old to run Windows 11. You know, get them from Windows 10 onto a Linux of some variety, and then they can, you know, once they discover what else is out there, then they can always back up their files and install something different later on. Um, Hopefully one of my videos will come up here. It's been a while since I did that. But I mean, it's one of those things that I think the differences between real Windows and Linux FX 11, I think they're going to become evident fairly quickly to people. And then, the question is asked, why use that versus some other more mainstream Linux? So if we take a look here, yeah, I did that a couple months ago. That's the one I had audio issues. But yeah, that's and I'm probably going to get to see an ad. All right. So yeah, that's there, but I don't know. I'm 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 past wanting to mimic Windows. Although it did dawn on me that this okay, so not so much in Pop OS, but I was working with Endless OS that has an on-screen has the icons on the screen. It's more meant for kids, but the way you can have the groups of similar applications nested, it reminds me of a cell phone. But thinking about that earlier today, it's like, man, that kind of resembles Windows 3.11 quite a lot as well, in the way some of the things operate, which was just kind of bizarre to think about, that something that new would mimic something that old. Downloading a list of available updates to the OS and installed apps. Well, it says you got two, so get with the program here. Yeah. So, anyways, Pop OS, it's still a pretty polished looking system. I really enjoy it. I'd love to have this running on some more modern hardware than this old server that it's currently being run on. And it'll be interesting to see what it would do. In fact, I've contemplated backing up my Windows 11 install on my little mini PC that has the Ryzen chip in it, and just putting Pop OS on that directly, at least for a period of time. The reason I got that machine was strictly to run Windows 11, but once I get this i9 system up, I may just buy an inexpensive Windows 11 license, put it in a VM, and have it, and then take the Ryzen machine and run Pop OS on it. I think that would be a better use of the resource. So the other thing I wanted to mention tonight a little bit. VirtualBox still, in their infinite wisdom, they still do not have available a version that will run Windows 11 without doing some crazy workarounds and other things. Now, they've got, and I don't remember exactly where on their site it was, but I did see it the other day. There are preview releases available for what is going to be VirtualBox 7. And that is supposed to have the TPM, the virtual TPM feature enabled. Now, there's been no indication of when VirtualBox 7 is actually going to be unleashed upon the world. And the longer that it doesn't get released, the more I wonder whether VirtualBox is going to start to fade into history. They've been pretty slow about doing this, and you know, as software developers, they had access to information before Windows 11 was released, so they couldn't really say they didn't know it was coming. But yeah. So, you know, that's one reason that I have contemplated, you know, moving my Windows 11 install just to a VM on Proxmox once I get the i9 system up. Because, you know, throw 6 processor cores at it and call it a day. And Windows 11 would be pretty happy, I'd say. But yeah. Okay, we got some updates. All right. File manager really hasn't changed much. And I'm sorry. This is being really laggy tonight, and I think this is the most lag I have seen. I know people have reported seeing more lag on the viewer end of things, but this is the most lag I've seen firsthand myself. At a given time. So yeah. So note to self, don't demo Pop! OS on the old server. Does not do it justice, and holy crow. All right. So we'll call that for the night. Just shut off. Maybe. I'm probably just going to delete this VM. Or migrate it over to one of the other machines that might be able to do it a little more justice. So let's just kill it. Bye. No more Pop! OS for tonight. We'll take another shot at this another day. Anyways, so yeah, the Be Quiet case, that looks pretty nice. Could have it here by Monday. So theoretically, if I ordered it, then I could maybe have the system up and running before next Thursday night's live stream, if everything went together nicely. Don't mind the orange. That's not bad either. Well, I'll have to think on this a little bit. Um, so yeah, well, I'll see about getting some parts ordered, and the most expensive piece is going to be the power supply. So um, yeah, AMD is going to be faster, but I got a steal of a price on this i9 system, and I could not build uh, an AMD system for what I paid for this. I'm into it for 250 US dollars for the motherboard, the CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and the two 2080 cards. Now, the caveat is that um, one of the 2080 cards needs to be reflowed, and I don't have the equipment to do that. So I'm going to be searching out somebody who can potentially do that. Um, or I might try my hand with a heat gun and, seeing if I can't coax it into working again. One of them does work. I just need to clean it really well. So, not the end of the world there. But, um, um, yeah, I could do a live stream putting it together. The problem is my office slash studio isn't really set up to do that well. Um, and I'm just not sure I would do the process justice. What I would sooner do is um, hook up the video camera and record it, and then do some sort of uh, time lapse effect on the video footage, and then do a recap of it in a future live stream. Um, that's likely what I'll do. Um, just to avoid the frustration I've seen David have with some of his live streams when he's been building systems and things, and to keep the flow moving. Um, so I've looked at a few power supplies. I was looking at something that was 1200 watt. Um, what was I looking at? Um, so it may have been this Corsair HX series one right here. 80 plus platinum certified, fully modular. Um, so that I think was the one of them that I was looking at. Um, but yeah. Oh, the small AMD system. Yes, that's definitely going to be faster than this old server. Um, and you know, um, yeah, I'm looking forward to throwing Popos on there at least temporarily, and then maybe doing a little more in depth review on it. I really feel like tonight's video did not do it justice as at all, and I know it operates better than what was demonstrated here tonight. But yeah, I've had good luck with Corsair power supplies for other systems, and I'm inclined to continue using Corsair because of the good luck I've had with them. Um, and yeah, over 1,700 ratings, customer reviews. So, but I'll look at a few others, and I might even shoot you an email with some parts that I'm considering. Just to make sure that I have all my T's crossed and I's dotted before I spend the money on the parts. um, but yeah, so I guess this is as good a point as any to bring this to a close. Um, I go EVGA any day over Corsair. Good to know. Let's see what EVGA has. Oh, that's only $5 difference. So 80 plus platinum. I guess I need to read up on what some of these different P designators are. Um, I don't think I need to go 1,600 watts. I think 1,200 is going to do what I need to do. Um, Looks like fully modular again. Corsair sucks. They do not try to they try not to do the warranty. Okay. EVGA stands behind their warranties. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I have not done a big build in a while. So I will definitely make myself a note. EVGA PSU and Be Quiet 600 series. All right. Is the version P6 is the latest? Okay, so it's just a generational thing. All right. 1,200 watts. Okay, so they do not. Oh, they must be out of stock on the 1,200 for the P6 and the P5. Well, I can always look at Newegg. P3, they've got the 1,200. All right. And look at Arctic Aio Coolers. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'll go through these a little bit. I guess it'll depend on whether I get the glass panel or not. Whether I go with one with RGB. I'd be tempted not to, but I don't know. Go big or go home, right? Um, oh, that's cute. Not gonna do what I need it to do, but it's cute. Um, Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 240 RGB. Yeah, I'll look at these a little bit more and then make some decisions and spend some money. So RGB eats performance. Gamers Nexus tested the Arctic AIO. 420 is a beast. Um, well, so the control software for RGB on Linux is not near as bloated. I think there's one. What is it? Open RGB. And I think you can get this on Windows now too, if I remember correctly. But um, open source RGB lighting control that doesn't depend on manufacturer software. Lightweight user interface, eliminate bloatware, um, and cross-platform. So I don't know if I do RGB, then I'm not going to rely on manufacturer software. Um, I will probably run OpenRGB and set that up, and it might be a work in progress for a while, but I'll check out some of these Gamer Nexus videos and see what I can find out. Arctic 420. So let's take a quick look at this. The 420. Oh yeah. And I like the blue. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. So that very well may be my choice there. Just need to make sure that it will work with the i9, and it says compatible with Intel and AMD. So yeah, maybe doing a build next week. Yay! Um, that should be fun. Should be fun. Get LGA 1700. All right. Well, that definitely gives me some food for thought to work with. So thank you for the suggestions, Catherine. Um, 600 is not the case for the 420. And the Fantex case for the 420. Um, okay. I've got some notes now. So, um, so a Fantex case for the 420. What do we have on the good old Amazon. Go big or go home. Fantex. Oh, it'd be really easy to spend a bunch of money. uh, so I wonder if this would fit. Well, I'm not going to do all the research here while I'm live, but yeah, this is something that would be interesting. This does not have the side panel, but does have the filter on the bottom, which is nice. I'll I'll play with some of these ideas and see what I can come up with. Um, so the Enthoo Pro. So yeah, this is not a bad looking case and definitely usable. So one of my other case that I've got another system in it has a removable drive bay adapter in the 5 1/4 inch slots in front that I'd be tempted to transplant over just to make it easier to install the hard drives. But that's a quest for another day. So, on that note, we are just after 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for everybody that came out. Um, and we will. I will be back on Sunday live again. Might have something to report as far as ordered hardware, even. Um, and I will definitely have a report on the networking situation at the campground if I end up going down there tomorrow. But this should be Sunday's live stream should be interesting. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for demos, if anything, but it might just be talking through parts and plans and different things of that nature. But yeah, this looks like a decent case to build in. So that we will see. We will see. So, all right. Well, yes, I'll definitely shoot you an email before I order anything, and see what I can do and make sure I'm avoiding any big pitfalls before I start parting stuff together. Because there's nothing I hate more than getting partway through a build and discovering that I don't have everything I need. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out and go from there. I'm sure I'll have something to report by Sunday's live stream. So everybody have a great night, and hopefully I'll see some of you back on Sunday.